Now, yeah, we have two types of protocols. One is stateless protocol, other one is stateful protocol. What is the use of stateless protocol and what is the use of stateful protocol? Stateful protocol means, let's say if we are doing of some web application login log out on some, we are moving of some different pages, okay. If the client means the browser is able to remember the conversation with the server, what is happened, then we'll call it as a stateful protocol, okay. And examples of stateful protocol is FTP, okay. File transfer protocol is one of the example of okay, for stateful protocol. And stateless protocol, stateless protocol means, if the browser is not able to remember the conversation with the server, what is happened, how many number of send the request to the server, all those things it will not it will not remember, okay. Every time server will treat it as a new request. So if it is not able to store the conversation with the client, then we'll call it as a stateless protocol. The example for stateless protocol is HTTP. Most of the times we'll use HTTP protocol for web application development, okay. Now now we'll see session tracking and session management. How exactly we can maintain the conversation state with the client, okay. How can we maintain the state of a client, okay, with the server, all those things. So then there are some approaches is there, okay. What are those ways means, one is URL rewriting, okay, and other one is hidden fields, for other thing is HTTP session and cookies. By using these four ways, we can maintain the state of the client with client conversational state, okay. Now we'll see through example. First one is URL rewriting. What is mean by URL rewriting? Let's say normally to access any application compulsory we need to send some request, right? Now let's say HTTP colon something, this is one request to the application, okay. Along with this, if some other information to identify this request is already came to server, to identify that, along with this if you are sending some other data, okay, then we'll call it as a URL rewriting, okay. Every time whatever that request is coming, to know that we should some unique ID is required to maintain that, okay. That we can maintain by using, by generating some unique ID for the request, and the same value we need to send back to the client again, to the browser. And browser whenever he is sending any other request, again that unique id must be sent back to server. Then only server will take that id, and then he will check with whether this id is part of in his existing list. If it is there, then he will treat it is a existing conversation state is there for this user, like that it will remember that. Let me take one example and read it, and then we'll go for some example. Here we'll maintain the session by using some unique identifier of the user. So how exactly we'll get that unique ID means, we need to generate some ID or we need to write some logic to that, okay. So that we will see that. And if user is accessed a web application first time, okay, first time means we don't have, we'll treat it as a new user, okay. Then that time I will create one unique ID for that user, okay. And that ID I will send back to the client, to the browser again, okay. Whenever he is sending any other request again, okay, then again he will send whatever the server sent that ID, unique ID, he, the client will send back to the server again, okay. Client and server means, client means browser guys, server means our application, okay. Every time the client will send that ID back to server, then server will validate from second time onwards. If the ID is there in his list, in server list, then it will treat that it is a some existing conversational state is there for this user, okay. Normally we can generate one unique ID by using UUID class, okay. Now the disadvantage of this one is we need to write some special code to maintain the URL rewriting with some session ID. Okay, and this is of high chance of the hacking of that session ID. Whatever the unique ID you are sending in the URL, it is a high chance of getting that unique ID, and it is easy for hackers to get that ID and get the user information. Okay, it is not best way to write the code, but for understanding purpose we need to do one testing. Is it first part is clear, guys? We'll see one example for rewriting how exactly we will rewrite that, and then we'll send the UID. Is it clear, guys? Now I'll show one example for that. Guys, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If not able to hear, just immediately call me, guys. Okay. Now what I'm doing, just I have written one HTML code. Okay, one HTML file, I have written it. What exactly it contains means, it contains of two drop downs. One is laptop type, Dell or X-Series or Sony or Lenovo. If you are selecting any Dell laptop and you want to store, okay, add operation you want to do or delete operation you want to do, or you want to see how many number of Dell laptops is added, and Sony or whatever the types, Lenovo types we have, items is added in our database or in our map. Okay. Now instead of connecting to database, I'm storing this data in the map. Okay. Now how exactly the UI is looks? Let me run this. This is the code for, this is the HTML code that I have written. What is the, this is on form. What is the laptop type? First attribute, laptop type. The second attribute is operation. Okay, laptop type, just assume I have selected Dell. Okay, and what type of operation you want to do on Dell laptop? You want to add or you want to delete or you want to show how many laptops is there, all. Okay, now let's say for time being, first operation I want to Dell laptop, and then I want to do some add operation in my database or somewhere in the storage these values. Okay, do perform operation. Dell is added successfully. How exactly this is coming, that we'll see in the servlet code. Okay, now let's see again. Again I have added accessories, different operation. Added add operation. Now again I added Dell. This is second time you are adding, guys. See, Dell add. Now perform. Dell is added successfully. Now I want to see how many Dell is added, how many Axer is added, how many other Lenovo types or data types is laptop types is added. Then operation is show all. Okay, click on perform operation. So it is showing Dell count is 2 times added. Sony is 0. Lenovo is 0. Axer is 1 time is added. Is it correct, guys? That many time, number of times we did or not? The logic will say again. Okay. Through UI, 2 times I have added Dell. Right? And 1 time is Axer is added. Now how exactly the count is storing and how exactly the UI is coming means, now we will see. And observe, guys, every time this along with operation, okay, along with action, there is some extra id also, it is coming in the URL, unique id. Okay, unique id is also coming part of, as part of URL. What exactly it is? Now go to our servlet code. What is happening when you click on perform operation? Now go to, yeah. So what I'm doing, I created one map object. First I have created one map object. What this map contains, what exactly the map contains, guys? Key value, right? It can store key and value, right or not?
Yes, sir.
It is some collection class, hash map is, right or not? So hash map is, it will store the values in key value pair. Key value pair. What is my key? I have taken one string. Okay, what is my value? Value is again a map. Map inside map, what exactly that contains? String comma integer. So inside the value it contains of what is the count? Lenovo count, okay, and accessories count, Sony count. Like that, I'm storing another map inside map. So what is the key for that? Whatever the unique ID that we are generating, that I'm maintaining as a key in the map. Okay. Value is how many number of times we are added Sony, Dell, all those things. That I'm taking as another map, map inside map. Okay. Now, whenever we click on perform operation. Now, what exactly it is calling? Method is post. Okay, this is the form. Now, what is the action that is going? Post, right? Now it means that it will call off do post, right? It will call do post in the servlet. This is the URL. Now, in the do post, what I am doing, I am trying to get this unique ID if it is there in the URL. If it is not there, first time it will come as null. Okay. If it is null, then I am generating that unique ID by using this method. It will generate one ID for me. Okay. The next time, once it is generated, I am taking based on this ID, is there any data is there? Okay, it is a key. Okay, based on this ID, is there any data is available in this map? Okay, then it will return what is the value type. It is again a map, right or not? So if the data is there, it will give that. If it is not there, it will return null. If it is a null means just I'm creating object for that hash map. Okay, and if it is null means first time I'm keeping, and this unique id as a key, and this object as value I'm keeping in the data map object. Okay. Now next we'll do through debugging, you'll get better idea. Okay, let me run in the debug mode. This time again the data will delete, guys. Okay, now again we need to add freshly. Now let's see. Let's first time I'm adding del, and operation is add, and click on perform. Okay, this time there is nothing is coming in the URL. Now it's coming to our servlet. Okay, so first time, if the unique ID is not part of that URL, then it will give null value. Okay, if it is not there. Okay, now click on to go to the next line, we need to click on F6. Okay, if it is unique ID is null, generate that ID. Okay, generate that unique ID. Next time, see what it will send. Now it is coming some value. See that? Next time before it is coming, before, maybe do it again if you want. See, it is coming as part of URL. If you are doing again, or else keep the cursor point in the first position. Okay. Now del of, do it del again. Okay. Add operation, do perform. It is coming. The first part is what I am sending. I'm searching for whether the unique ID is sending as part of URL or not. So that means URL is coming means it is sending that some unique ID. Okay, this is not null, right? So it will not execute this part. So from this map, okay, is there any data is available for this unique ID? Okay, if it is there, then it will return that data. So it is not written. So already one accessories laptop is added, one Dell laptop is added, right? So this condition also will not execute next time. Now let's see after that what is the count of all the laptops. Okay, now get it, get the laptops count. Dell is 1, Sony is 1, 0, null, and for the rest of things, if it is set condition other than null means it will initialize with 0. Okay, for other things it will not. Now see that access count is 1, it is not initialized with 0. Lenovo is not there, so that is the reason it is making 0, and Sony is also 0. Dell is already 1. Now again I have added one more is Dell, right? It should count should go 2. Now add, it is going inside if condition of del. Already one is there. Now it is increasing one more. Now see the del count is 2. That I am storing in laptops count map for del value. Before it is their value is 1. That now it is overriding with 2, the del. We can modify the values of key for in the map. Okay guys. Okay. Now rest of all will not execute. Again del is added successfully, no deletion, and same again the same form it will come again back, right or not? Now del is added. Now see show all, again it is coming. Now see that what is the value, is there anything is coming or not? Yes, value came. Is not null means this condition will not satisfy, and then it will come out of that. So it will give, now axer is 1, del is 2. Okay, now this is also not null, so it will come out of that. Take the count of all, and then what is the type? Nothing is there. Okay, and action, what is the action? Now action is show all, show, right? Now this condition will not satisfy. Now see, it will come out of that. It is going to, is the type, action type is delete or not? No, it is not delete also. It is of else part is coming. Apart from add and delete, the else is only show. So what it is saying, the Dell count, Sony count, Lenovo count, accessories count it is displaying. Apart from that, the below also it will, let's see, come out of that again. So other part is the form is also coming again. Just click on F8. Now go and see. Now it is showing all count along with form again. As part of this, we are maintaining one unique ID, and that ID will send back every time to server. Okay, is it clear, guys? This part, URL rewriting. URL rewriting means to identify the client conversation. To identify the client conversation, compulsory we need of some unique ID. That's what we are generating and sending to the client every time. Every time it is sending any request back to the server, that ID compulsory should send to the server. Then only the server can verify that ID is part of his list or not. If it is there, then it will treat that it is already the existing user is having with me, so I need to take his details, and then from that it will get the data. Guys, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it is of every time we need to send some unique ID to identify the previous conversation state, previous user conversational state. As part of URL, we are sending that unique ID. Again, whenever it is sending the request, it will, this ID will compulsory will come as part of that ID. That is what, as part of it is coming in the URL. This is what URL rewriting, guys. Okay. Now the next part is, what is next part? Next part is hidden fields. Next part is hidden fields. Instead of URL rewriting, instead of URL rewriting, I want to store this data in the form of hidden fields. Hidden field means as part of HTML code it will come. Okay. Before, let me, yeah. Now we'll take this only. So if I'm writing uh, count is something, input type, okay, type equal to text, and name equal to some uname or something, just assume name, and uname and year. So now let's see, there is some extra field will come whenever you are running the application. Now let's start the application. What is mean by hidden means? Now we will see that done. So what is coming, guys? Extra one field you are able to see in the screen, right? Right or not? So now if I'm making input type is hidden, input type is hidden means, now let's restart it. Just everything is same. Just I change the text to, that is removed, right or not? The text box. This text box is, remove this one and refresh it. This guy. Now this part is removed. Now let's see in the, as internal code it contains that one. See, as part of this the code is there. Okay. Now what I am trying to do, whatever I am sending back to the client, I want to store the count of laptops, all those things in hidden variable. In hidden variable. Okay. Now we'll see that. What exactly it means. Hidden, here we will hidden the fields of HTML form. Okay, in HTML we will hidden this data. How exactly we'll see that too, through practical also. Whenever user access the application first time, hidden values will be in the request is null. Okay, and from the second time onwards, whatever the selected data that we are there, that will send to the HTML client again, to the client, to the web client. Now how exactly it will send means, that we'll see. Okay, now close this part. The code is everything same, you are same HTML, guys. Now the part is there is no change in the HTML, everything is same. Okay, guys. Now what I am doing in the servlet code, now let's observe it. I need to write some HTML extra code. Now what is there, I'm getting the data from, one second, let's say, guys, start it. So now if I'm sending any data here, so how I'm getting this data from this? By using get parameter, right or not? Now let's go. By using get parameter I'm getting the data. Okay, right or not? What is the type? Let's go and see here. This is the type. Okay, what I have selected in the drop down, that will come as part of this type, right or not? Based on this type I'm getting the data in servlet. right or not? So in the first four lines of code I am trying to get some data, right? But there is no parameters right now in our web data, sorry, welcome file, right or not? Now this time what will come? Null, right or not? Now let's say if I am adding and add and do some operation, del is added successfully. Okay, now see the now see the now see the source code of this one. Now internally it is adding search format. One second, guys. Go to Control Shift, Alt Shift B. Control Alt Shift. There is some option. Go to where plugins. We can format it. Let me 1 second. Language. Where is that? Okay. Okay, guys, no problem. Now as part of this, what is there? Form is same thing, everything is there, but along with that there is some extra fields came. Okay, now see this. So this is our actual form, laptop type, and what is the operation that we are doing. So along with that there is some extra code is also added. What is that? Input type equal to hidden, name equal to del. What is the value of that? Count is 1 is added. Okay, next time we are doing, let's say try to do off again. Okay, last time if I am doing of accessories, right now what is the count of accessories? 0 is there. Okay, next time if I am adding and do perform, this time you can see, observe of that. Now go right side, see what is the del is value is 1, and for accessories also the value is coming 1. For Sony and for Sony value is 0, and the Lenovo value is also 0 is there. So that means that we are sending the data in the hidden format of HTML. Okay, now that is the code this I have written in the Java code. This code I have written in the Java. Now let's see, it is not generated one. I have written that code in the Java at the end, otherwise it won't come directly, right? So see, so input type hidden, del, the value name is del, the value count I am storing here in the hidden field. For all the rest of the laptops also I am storing in the hidden fields. Next time whenever we are submitting, along with this values will come. These types also, by using this name I can get that value what is there in the this field. Now let's run it. By debugging you people will come to know. We are writing extra HTML code as part of in servlet itself. Sorry, I'm not done in the debugging mode. Just to do debugging, and now let's see, this first initial these values will come as empty. We don't do any, we have not added any operation. Now do up some Sony and add it. It is came to controller now, and let's do one by one. See, all del is 0, null, sorry, null. Okay, or we will initialize with null anyhow later. Sony null. Okay, Sony also all are null. Only now I didn't get the value of still Sony, right? Now later I'll get that value what is there in that. Let me 0 initialize, and count. Yeah, here we'll get that value. Type is Sony. Okay, now last action is add. So inside that I will increase the count of the Sony. Now add, it is not Dell, come out of Sony, it will go inside that, and it is increasing the count of, it will increase. Let's go next time. Yeah, see that it will increase the count of that to Sony, and the rest of things will come out of that, and added successfully Sony. Okay, next it is not delete operation. The rest of things again, see, as part of for each and every Lenovo laptop type, I'm adding one field in the HTML code. See, this is the code that I'm adding extra apart from Lenovo type, laptop type and operation type. I'm adding 4 extra fields to store the values of laptop count. Okay, now just go there. Sony is added successfully. Now if I am doing again Sony or some Sony, now the value will come to here as, now let's see, value of Sony is, now see that value of Sony is coming as 1, right? Now this value again where I'm storing, now let's go, I'm adding that value to Sony. Let's go and increase. Now already the Sony count is 1, right? Now in this case I'm adding, it will go to 2. The same value I'm storing in here in the hidden field. Whenever it is coming again this value will come, and based on that I can store it. Now let's say this time I will delete it. Okay, now Sony delete and do operation. Don't go. Now what is the value it is coming? For Sony it is coming f 2 is coming value, right? Now what is the type I am doing? Delete, right? Action is, it is Sony, and action is delete, not add. Now the first if condition will fail, and it is going to delete action. Okay, now what is the type? If type is Dell, no, it is not Dell. If it is Sony, then it will come inside, and then it is increasing. Right now it is 2. After this line it will change it to 1. It will change to 1, right? Now come out of that, it is deleted successfully, it will come. Along with that, the same again, that updated value it will go in here, it will come as 1. Now see, 1. The next time it is submitting, that 1 value will come again. Now go here. Yeah, this is there. Now let's view source. What is the form type perform method? Input type hidden, del is 0. We have not added anything. What is this next one? X is also 0. Third one is Sony. Now the value is, count is coming as 1. We deleted 1. Under the Lenovo is 0. Okay. Now this is what the hidden fields, maintaining the data in hidden fields to maintain the conversation with client. This is one of the thing again. Is it clear, guys? But mostly we will not use this HTML code. For your reference only I am explaining this one. Guys, is it clear, this one?
Yes, sir.
Hidden fields, right? This is HTML code, guys. It is not Java code. But I am writing that HTML code in Java. That means that writing HTML code in Java is very difficult. That's where the JSP coming into the picture. Okay, and along with that, what is one more? Session. One more is session is there. How to keep the data in session means we need to just add that in the session. Now let me open that session. So we are keeping in the session. So you logged in and then you are keeping some data in the session until you log out. Until we log out, the data will be there in the session. Okay, for that's where we'll use of session part. Okay, there is no big thing in this one. The code is everything is same, just we are using of set data, set attribute and get attribute. Yesterday I already given that part last class somewhere. Yeah, see this. So as part of session we can set the data by using key and get the data by using key, remove the data by using key. Okay, that's what here also we are doing, getting the data by using name of the key. Okay, where we are setting session dot set attribute. Now let's search it. Instead of get search set, somewhere we are setting the data. Okay, okay, this one we are setting the data inside session. Now let's do that again. One example. The example is same. Okay, now let's save. This is of HTTP session test. Guys, the project is HTTP session test. So what I am doing, so before I didn't write any HTML code apart from extra whatever is there. See, we are not writing in, but before cases we have written HTML code inside all our JSPs, sorry, in the servlet, right? In this case we are just storing the data in session. Again, whenever the request is coming through that session, we are getting the data, session dot get attribute. Okay, there is no much thing in this one, guys. Okay, now in the same way, session dot cookies. Cookies is also one of the part, but that is no one will use that. But I have given just as a code for that. Last some description for any knowing of the concept wise. Okay. So and one more thing, normally, so where we need to configure the session timeout, where we need to configure once you are logging into the application. Let's say after 30 minutes, sometimes it will come back directly login page. Your session is timeout. So that configuration where we will do that configuration where we need to do means inside web.xml file or in controller. Both the ways we can do that one. For that. I've created one application. Okay, now let's go to session API. Okay, now what I am doing here, so inside web.xml file I have added that's what any new thing is there here apart from which you don't know here, whatever you discussed in the web.xml file. Guys, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
So this one already we have seen, right? This part is we have not seen. Is it correct or not? Session config,
Yes, sir.
right? So let's say after login to our application, I want to after 30 minutes, I want to log out my application automatically if I'm clicking on any other page. Okay, let's say in the Facebook or somewhere, once we are login, once we are login, after login, so it will come to the home page, right? After certain period of time, okay, if you are clicking on some operation, some any other page or some other link, automatically it will come to the login page, right or not? Guys, did you observe that?
Yes, sir.
Or else let's say you people may have banking, right, in internet banking. Once you're logged into your internet banking, after 2 to 3 minutes or some time, if you're not, if you're clicking on any other links in your internet banking, it will come to the login page, it will session out, right or not?
Yes, sir.
So that's where what they have configured after particular period of time. Okay, after particular period of time, if the browser is not doing any ideal session, if it is in ideal, if the browser is in ideal session, then the session will validate by using, if you are configuring here as 1, okay, then 1 minute it will wait, and then after that if you are clicking on any other links in the application, the session timeout will happen. Okay, by default 30 minutes is the default session out. Okay, now I'm keeping 1 minute, right? Now whether it is creating new session or not, that we'll see through practically. Now inside here also, apart from web.xml file, we can invalidate the session. We can set the how much time we need to keep the session. Then by using set max inactive interval, set max inactive interval, there is a method is there. Okay, so if you are configuring here 30 means, then 30 seconds it will be valid. 30 seconds. If you want 60 means, then into 60, if you are giving, then it will be 1800 seconds, it will be session will be available. If you are keeping 30 minutes, it will be 30 seconds. Okay, now let's start the application, and whether it is creating new session or not, that we'll see every time. Okay, now let's run the application, restart it. I'm creating up session IDs, all those things, when it is created, all those things I'm showing. Okay, if I'm clicking on this, is session is new, it is coming as true, right? It is creating some new session. Okay, there is no existing relation with this one, existing conversation with this client. Now if I am going, copy this, remove this, click on this, what is coming? False. Let's wait for 1 second, let's wait for some time. Now it is 10 seconds, right? Now let's wait for 1 minute. Max inactive interval is 30 seconds. Wait for only 30 seconds, we'll see that which one is it is taking. Now let's try remove this, or we'll go for some new browser also, doesn't matter. Now click on this, it is created new session. That means that after particular period of time, after particular period of time, the session will invalidate. Okay, that time it will come to the login page again back. Okay, that how many ways we can set means, we can set through web.xml file. If you are configuring web.xml file, then and in the code, the first priority it will give to the code which in the servlet whichever you configured, it will take that one. Okay, if you are not configured this one, then whatever the configured time you have configured in the web.xml file, that will consider that. Is it clear, guys, this one? We will see one example, one project with the servlets and JSP. Once the JSP is completed, I will show you one application, login, logout, all those things, registration, everything. I will show you one application. Guys, don't worry. So I'll show you one application, how exactly it will happen through code also. Okay, I'll explain that. Is it clear, guys, this part? The session 1?
Yes, sir.
Now the next one is, see that there is an interface available in Servlet API, that is by using request. This is one of the session, one of the interface in API, or it is specification. How to get that session object? By using request dot get session as part of servlet. Let me, by using, how to get the session object means, by using this object request dot get session means, it will return session object, the meaning of that. Okay, and requested get session will return a session if it is exist, otherwise it will create new session and return that. Okay, if you're writing like this, it will, if the already session is there in the request, then it will return it. If it is not there, it will create it. Then if it is not there, if you don't want to create it, then if you are making it as false, then if it is there the session in the request, then only it will give, it won't create new one. Okay, now requested get session of true means will work as same as above. If it is the session is there, it will return the same. If it is not there, it will create new one. If requested get session of false means it will return session if it exist. Otherwise, it will return null. It won't create new session. If you are giving false as part of get session of false means. How to invalidate the session? Okay, there is a method called session dot invalidate. There is a method in the session. Okay, session dot invalidate, this method will invalidate the session if you are calling intentionally. Okay, there is a method is there. If you are calling this one, then this will call whenever you click on login button, logout button in the page, then session dot invalidate method will call and that session will expire. Okay, that will see in the some in the project of JSP with servlets. Okay, clearly. The next part, or whenever the browser closed by the user, the session will be invalidated automatically or by calling of session dot invalidate. Okay, now and one more thing is when we call session dot invalidate method programmatically, session will be invalidated. Typically this method will be called whenever client click on logout button. Okay, and if we set max inactive interval of session by using set max inactive interval method, it is part of code, right, in the Java code. Now and method, then this will be invalidate if the client is ideal for that many number of seconds. If the client is not doing any operation in the browser, then after that period of time it will session out. Okay, that's what the meaning of that. And next part is, if we configure session timeout in web.xml file like this, already I showed you in the web.xml file also we have configured this one, session config. Okay, if we configuring this one, this session will be expired or invalid if the user is ideal for that many number of minutes. Okay, minutes, here is minutes, in the code it is seconds. Okay, and which one will take as priority, web.xml file or the code one which is in Java code. Okay, now programming session timeout configuration will take priority over web.xml configuration. If both are configured, then first priority it will give which is there in the Java code. Okay, that means if we configure session timeout in web.xml file as 1 minute and configured session timeout using set max inactive interval as 10 second means then actual session timeout will be 10 seconds only. It will consider not 1 minute. Okay, and default session timeout is 1800 seconds. That means 30 minutes. This is what for a session, guys. HTTP session, and cookies is also same, but mostly that will not use it, but it is also maintaining of a key value pair. We need to send back to the browser session dot set cookies. Okay, and getting of cookies, persistent cookies, mostly no need of this cookies part, but for time being just I have given some theory here. A cookie is a key value pair of textual information which will be sent from web client to the server. Client will send some cookies. Again, same will send browser client server also will back to client. See here, will send from web client to web server and web server to web client to maintain the conversational state. Then only it will remember the conversation state between the client and server. Okay, to maintain the client session using this mechanism, our client, our browser should support this one cookies. Some browsers will not support cookies, so that is the reason we will not use of this cookies concept. Okay, that's what the servlet guys. Tomorrow I'll start JSPs. Already I have prepared some document for JSPs also, but due to some power issues, so I didn't started that. I'll start tomorrow. Guys, please practice, guys. I'm telling. Yes, someone is speaking something, please.
No, sir.
Yeah. So, is it clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
These are not that much important, but you should people have some idea. Servlets and JSPs. Okay. I'll send this document and the projects which we created. I created for session, for a HTTP session API, and for servlet, for hidden fields, and for URL rewriting. I'm sending this one. Just please practice it, guys. I'm telling again and again. That is your interest, whether you are doing or not. Okay. Okay, guys. Thanks for today's class. We'll meet again tomorrow. I'll share the document on the project soon. Okay. Please practice it.
Sir.
Yeah, I think someone is speaking. Maybe some Surya.
Sir, whether to
Sir.
concentrate on JSP or Spring and Spring Boot, sir?
No, actually, this is some basic idea is required, Surya. At least, no need of extensive practice. At least you should know how to create the project and how to test it. Minimum things the web application means.
Okay, sir.
Okay. And whatever the document I am giving, just read it for theoretical knowledge.
Sure, sir.
Okay. Spring you need to practice more.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Sir,
I'll send
what should
some.
we learn in HTML?
Sorry. Tell me, Suman.
In HTML, what should we learn, sir?
Yeah, HTML means. Let me show you. W3 schools is there. Okay. Here to know the actually we will write the UI logic. To write UI compulsory we need of some HTML code. The actual HTML UI knowledge Angular React we are not learning, right? To write some UI code, UI some headings or something compulsory some table format or form something we need of some HTML knowledge. Okay, now let's say if you want to create some form, okay, login form, let's assume username and password and some submit button is required, right? Login button, then do up some forms, what exactly it contains. Let's go to this page and try it yourself to get a first name and login and then submit button. What is the code they have written, what we need to write it. Now go here and then see that. Think about this action, it is different thing that we will write in Java, but what we need to write for login, get the login page. Okay, this is one. This is what is the label, f name. This is for getting a first name. What is the input type? Input type equal text. This one what we are doing, this one hard coded. Let's remove it and then you can practice here directly, guys. And remove of last name and then remove here and then what will happen. Okay, now run it. This also same is coming, no change. Now let's change it to first name and last name. See, now it is small case and remove it. See it and what is the value that is the default. Remove this one. What will happen if I am removing this one? You need to do some practice of HTML codes. Now see, it is removed some data inside this one. This is of what is the action page it is going. It is going to this action PHP. Okay. Now if you are writing, in our case, what we are doing, dot Java something login slash login something is there, right? It will go to our servlet class. Okay. For to get that form, all those things, we need to practice through HTML to get the page. Now, how to get this page? If you want to add something in the table, then table table, okay, and this table table, and again we need to write this code in uh, table row, okay, tr. Again, this is in one line, right? Now let's see. This is in one line slash tr. Compulsory, we should close it. Again, I want to write in this is in one table data. Okay, td. This is one td. This is HTML code, guys, not Java code. Okay. Now here, this is for one more. No need of BRs. Remove this and remove BRs and this is one more TD. Means TD means table data. The meaning of that. TR means table row. I'm dividing one row into two columns. Just these things you need to practice it. TD and close TD and this one row and this is a one row. Now it will come in table form. Now let's see, run it. See, it is coming in some different form, right or not, guys? This you people need to practice it. Some HTML knowledge is required. Okay, this is very simple, guys. Just you need to practice it. It's not that much logic. All those things is not there. Just you need to go through W3 schools and then you need to check what is form attributes. Okay, what is the meaning of form attributes? Means you can see how exactly the data will send, what each contains. Input type is what is type means it will, text means what will happen, what is password means it will happen. So like that you need to practice it. What will happen? All those things. Let me control something. I practice something here, right? Yeah. So this is what we did, right? Now let's say if I'm entering something here, it is showing in the text. If I'm making it is password, then what will happen? Now let's go. See, it is showing in stars. It will be in the hidden password. It's also right like that. Tested some different ways by using. Just no need to go for any other sites. Just to practice what was there in this line in this page. Don't go for no, not more than that. Just practice these things, guys. Not more than this. I'm giving this link. This is enough for understanding of forms for time being. For HTML, like whatever we are doing the code, just to go to that page and then practice and understood that. Each and everything they have written, just read that content. What exactly action attribute? So action attribute defines the action to be performed when the form is submitted. Whenever you are clicking on that button, so this action it will perform. Okay. The meaning of that. What is the use of this action attribute? The meaning of that. Okay. If you are going for next, what is the target attribute? These things. No need to go for this much extra. At least some minimum basic idea is required. What is the method? Okay. So here we have given we are using get method and post method, right? What is the use of this one? If you are giving get method means the data will go in the URL. If it is in post, it will go in the hidden mode. Those things you need to practice it. Is it clear, guys? This one.
Yes, sir.
This one means this I